All right, so we are back. We have Josh and Erik from the Tacoma Sun, and the old blogosphere is back. TheTacomaSun.com is where you can find out all information. Now, when we last left you, you're about to go meta.
Yeah.
So go for it.
All right. Well, I just want to give kind of what I think, and Josh will give his input of where is Tacoma now. I mean, you guys are in there. You guys are in the machine. The fact that you guys are even going right now is a sign of the state of Tacoma, where you are. So Tacoma is where we're at. We are a Rust Belt city. We're one of the few Rust Belt cities on there. We're like a Detroit or basically St. Louis, except we're sitting on the Rust. This is how I see it anyway. The city's lowest part, probably the 50s and 60s, we had the Tacoma Mall. It was abandoned. We had a lot of different problems. It was almost whole-scale abandoned. The best photo set was done by this guy in 79 who did
I have that whole thing.
Isn't that beautiful?
On my computer. It is beautiful.
Best photo set in the world. Downtown Tacoma was almost wholly abandoned in 1979. It's just the saddest, most depressing thing. So we've come up and we've made some improvements, but I would say downtown is operating about 40% of what it was in the 20s. We're still at about 40%. Things have kind of come up a little bit, but if you drive on Market, Fawcett, St. Helens, I mean, you're like, where am I? I mean, if my car broke down, would I be able to walk out? It's like a 2-mile walk to get to civilization. That's in the middle of the downtown. So we're coming up, and so what we're trying to do with the Tacoma Sun is try to help guide, and with a new life, kind of guide things to, so people make smarter decisions. But you guys are great. You guys are part of it. And the cool thing about Tacoma now, there's enough life. If you have a great idea, there's enough life for it to take off. Okay?
Yes.
But it doesn't cost much. Of course, this equipment is extremely expensive, I'm sure. And this place is extreme. But it doesn't cost much.
We are a rare version of a podcast.
If you try in Seattle to do anything, you need $10 million. You want to start a restaurant? Oh, gosh. In Capitol Hill? Okay, you need $10 million in foreign investors and blah, blah, blah. Tacoma, there's so much empty space that you can start about anything. And here's the beautiful thing. If you think you're the best at something, you can just declare you are, because there's almost no one to compete with you.
Except for in food, man. We got some food in Tacoma.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So, you guys are up there, and it's just like a blue open sky. You just take your space in it, and there's no one really to compete with you.
And even if you wanted to start something small, it was at Spaceworks.
Yep.
Yeah, they have the initiative with Spaceworks that really helps you get in on the ground floor. And like you said, there's so much empty space out there that you can make something happen with just a small amount of stuff. And that's one of the things that I love about the Grit City podcast, and the fact that we can highlight the local businesses, and it's the people that are trying to push whatever they're trying to get out there, their creativity. It's just basic business a lot of the times, and Tacoma is a really good place for that. And it's one of those things that I'm glad that the Tacoma Sun is actually in on, because that's what we are too. So I mean, it's a good partnership at that end, because I want to see Tacoma be better. I think that it's gone a long ways, especially when I was a youth down here. I say it almost every time. The fact that we can go into Wright Park and still hang out now, where they can have
my buddy's having
events.
A wedding there.
Yeah.
What? A wedding in Wrights Park?
Right.
No, that's insane.
Dude, there's a conservatory in Wrights Park.
Yeah, I almost got married there.
I had no idea.
Allison.
I had family come in, and that's the museum thing across the street too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the manuscript museum. I had no idea this shit was here.
And you guys know we have a manuscript museum?
Yes, I do. And I've only been there a couple times, but it's pretty cool. They have a big gun out front and mortar, cannon.
Yeah, Scott, you went to it.
Dude, it was unbelievable. Really unbelievable. I had no idea what I was walking into.
So a manuscript museum. This is
I thought a museum full of dumb books, right? Right? I had no idea what I was walking into.
Some dude scribblings.
Right. And that's kind of what it is. Instead, they have exhibits, right? They'll have a one exhibit, one page to look at a thing with a description. But it the current one is Darwin and evolution. So it's handwritten notes from Darwin, letters Darwin wrote. Dude, it was unbelievable.
Almost no one's in there. I think it's done by a private company.
Yep. It's all privately owned.
They have no budget. I mean, nobody even goes in there.
The guy
it's
said
secret. It's right by Wrights Park. It's crazy.
Dude, it's free to get into. The guy said there was a largest private owners of manuscripts in the country, and they have 2 or 3 different ones in different cities, and it's just like a billionaire family. They have just a ton of money, and the guys like they didn't want to buy a sports team.
I've lived here for a long time, and I never.
How long have they been there?
Dude, a long time, dude. It was one of the neatest things I've ever been to. Honestly, like they had
right in the middle of the park, just on top of the park, right in the middle.
Yep.
Damn.
Like actually, like physically in the middle.
No, across the street, right
Like
across
by
the
the
street.
Hobnob?
No, other side.
Middle, on the side, top side.
Like
G
the hospital
Street
side?
or something.
Other
Or
side.
the apartments where the one-ways go.
Yeah.
It's right across from the conservatory, basically.
Ew, Dan used to live right there.
Dude, it was the neatest thing. They had
knows Dan.
World War II paperwork, like signed treaties from the end of World War II. Yeah, like the real ones, like the legitimate
Go
original.
to the conservatory, look forward, click your heels 3 times, and you're looking at it.
I was blown away. I had no idea it was here. So
There's a bunch of like that secret stuff in Tacoma. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you can just wander around and find some really amazing things that, fuck, I didn't even know about that.
Just a normal, old Tacoma building, there's so much empty space, like hundreds of thousands
There's
of
secret
empty
tunnels.
space.
There's Shanghai tunnels in
There's like
Marconi.
2, so Shanghai tunnels. You guys were talking to Steve Dunkelberger. Yeah. Chinese tunnels. There's tons of those. And the funny thing is,
It's like he knows.
he won't say. He knows there's there. The funny thing is, in Tacoma, they keep filling more tunnels, and they go, well, we don't really have Chinese tunnels, but we keep filling them in. Then they find some more. Then they find some more. It's like, dude, you've put all these together. You got it.
Brogan and I both worked at the Tacoma Road Center, which
That's a crazy building.
it is. So it's Department of Site and Council on one end, and then you go across to the Court of Appeals, and it's connected. And the Court of Appeals is it was a brand newish building of however many.
That's
years
my
ago.
law school.
Oh, okay, yeah. And so like they did.
Seattle stole it.
Did they?
Yes.
It was more of an updated building on the Court of Appeals, but on the other side, it's the Department of Site and Council, and it's an old ass building. Second floor down there is where they do all the storage, and it's literally a wood floor that goes to a brick wall that
With
has
a
been
hole
bricked
in the
over.
middle, like
with
somebody
a hole,
hit-
Yes.
like a hole, and you look in that hole, and it goes into a tunnel, and it's creepy as hell.
And in that tunnel is where they store all of the clothing that they lend inmates.
Oh.
Like they have like a little Goodwill rack of suits, women's dresses and men's suits that were for the court.
Yeah,
For the people.
so anybody if you didn't have a suit, at least you had something that hopefully it would fit.
Now,
And
granted, they were all dusty and awful and probably hadn't been used in forever.
All the old buildings are connected to the Chinese tunnels. They all have the old entrance. Go talk to Dave McConey's.
Yeah, I want to go.
He's got to go down there.
If I
He'll
had a
show
bunch
you
of
where
money,
the
I'd
entrance
buy one of
is.
those buildings and just bash through, and I would.
urban exploration.
Well, Andrew brought us a bunch of pictures. Remember the Ghost Hunter?
yeah,
he brought us
fucking
a
Andrew.
bunch of pictures from underneath
Tacoma
the
has
building.
such a strange, wonderful history. Most of it's corrupted, especially in the early 1900s and such like that. But it's one of those things that, going along the lines of even like the secret places and like all of it, like there's so much that Tacoma has to offer.
It was built boldly, unlike other cities. It was built bold. Like the Bank of California, they still is empty. Another empty building. You guys know where the Bank of California building is on Pacific Avenue.
Right across the street from the new convention center.
Yeah.
Is it empty now?
Not the new convention center. Bank of California building.
Further down.
Yeah,
Pillars.
right by Starbucks.
Oh,
downtown,
okay.
11th and Pacific Avenue.
That's empty.
Where the hell is it?
It's a monster of a building. The atrium is 40 stories high with this fancy gold leaf things in there.
Wait a minute,
all
what building
empty.
is this? Sorry, I'm having a hell of a time in my head.
It's invisible. You get to see through the matrix. No.
Yeah, well, that's what it feels like.
11th Pacific Avenue.
So, what else is on 11th and Pacific Avenue?
Bridge.
It's the same size as Starbucks, but not that side. Not that side of the
To
building.
the north of Starbucks.
Where the fuck is?
You know where that the place they used to rock out? They used to have a band place underneath there on the north parking garage. That little space
You know where
underneath it.
11th and Pacific is?
Oh,
Starbucks.
It's a half. It's a half street.
No.
Or it stops.
11th gets you. Where's that 13th? God damn it.
10th is the half street, so it's in between 10th and 11th.
Oh, where the lock is. It used to be the second Hell's Kitchen
Right across
location.
from the lock.
Across the street.
Oh, that big weird building with the delicious deli in the basement or on the ground floor.
That's the post office building.
No, I'm talking one more block up. Shit.
Google it.
Google it.
Yeah, you'll Google it. It has columns, 3-story columns on the front.
You know how many people just hung up on the podcast? They're like, "Fuck, who cares?"
To cut that out.
Hey, bringing it back though, right? Lots of emptiness. That's what the Tacoma Sun is all about. It's about rebuilding and repairing the city.
You're gonna fill the empty spaces in Tacoma.
No. We're not doing it. We want to bring attention to it. We want to remind people of how bold Tacoma was.
And allow the city, try to make sure the city allows it to happen. So the mantra
decision-making.
is first, city, do no harm, please. Allow people to build things. Allow people to involve. You couldn't even.
Oh, that building.
Yeah, he saw the light. We got to allow things to happen. So we're there trying to like influence city policy and educate to allow things to be for the city to be occupied and for life to come in. You guys are the life, and so it's good that you guys are
Create
here.
the framework for people to do great.
Fuck yeah, we are.
Yes.
We're the life. Well,
Just call Scott your daddy.
oh, that makes it now
Yeah,
awkward.
that just got weird.
We're giving life. Somebody's got to be the dad. Scott doesn't get to be the dad.
Well,
Sorry, I hadn't had a beer in like 7 days.
when
now
the
you
two
have
dads of McMinimans come in, hopefully they will add some more life. And they're right next
looks
door.
awesome, man. I know we said this earlier, but every time I look out the window and I see it, I'm like, holy shit.
I think there's going to be spillover here. I think you're going to get some McMiniman kind of spillover project. There's so much money flying around. Next door, can't avoid it.
One of my favorite things too is the fact that once the McMinimans opens up, we're going to be doing like pre-funks over there, and then slow rolling over here, do some podcasts and hang out and party. So yeah, like I love. I'm very hopeful for Tacoma, and it seems like both of you guys are too. So seriously, thank you guys so much, Eric and Josh from the Tacoma Sun, thetacoma.sun.com. If people want to contact you or help participate in what you guys are doing, what's the best way to get a hold of you guys?
Your personal cells work, so just
Oh yeah, and social media
home
number.
addresses.
We'll give our social media number.
555.
Yeah. They can go to the Tacoma Sun on Facebook and post and send a message there. They can look at our own Facebook pages and send us messages right there too.
Perfect. And we'll put all the social media links and stuff on this podcast as well. You can click right on it and check it out. And absolutely 100% we're guys going to have you back on, especially talking about the sins of Tacoma. I'm excited
Yes.
for that at some point in
We'll
time.
go down there one after another, and each one of them will make your head explode like, oh my God, that's right.
That is so amazing.
And I love it that you didn't think there were. You're like what? Like
Yeah.
which one?
Yeah, exactly.
And then I
Well,
told
I
you
just
one,
think
you're like,
about-
oh my God, of course.
And it just started.
I'd forgotten about that stupid little park. I was just like, oh yeah, that
we just
thing
do a
is
podcast
just-
at Tacoma's stupid little parks.
Yeah, dead.
Well-
A dead zone. A city,
We love
and it's
Metro
not
Parks.
just a
Metro
sad.
Well, and it's hard to get to too. Like,
Oh yeah, nothing grows there.
it's
it
on the
dies.
backside of.
And now, if it had just sat there from a building that lost, then you go, oh, that's kind of sad. But the unfortunate thing is wholly created by the city, and so it's a deliberate
They're gonna
act.
repair it. They're going to repair it.
Well, and I mean, like you could do something there, right?
So
Like
put a building there.
But what would you put there?
A building,
Yeah,
More buildings.
like a good building.
yeah, a frontage,
grid.
store frontage, something.
Eric, Josh, again, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, and
Yay.
again, you guys, if you guys want to help us out and help support local
Yes.
podcasting, go to patreon.com/Grit City Podcast. You can find it all on gritcitypodcast.com. Different ways you can do that. We've got hoodies, we've got t-shirts. There are different tiers that you can go ahead and back us. So it's as easy as $4 a day if you just, or $4 a day.
God damn.
we'll take $4 a day.
Yes, $4 a day.
$4 a month.
There you go.
Going all the way up to $50 if you want to have specialized promotion, and if you want to actually back us on the big end, do that. Follow us on all the social media. It's easy to find. Just Grit City Podcast. You can find all of that at gritcitypodcast.com. And until next time, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us. We will post on the Tacoma Sun, so look for it, and we'll have a big post on you guys and this whole operations, your stealth organization. I tell you have a magazine too. There's like one at.
There's a Grit City magazine.
That's awesome.
And
That's not us, but
that's not
there
us.
is.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you aren't an arm of Grit City Magazine?
No.
No.
No, we were there before they were. We've been doing this for years.
Okay, I'm confused. I thought they were the same group.
No, we'd like to have them on, but they just won't return my email for some reason. Like they did once.
This is
and
not a
then-
joke.
No, for real.
Okay.
It's not a joke. Yeah, they emailed. We emailed back and forth one time, and then
I thought it was a magazine. They go, we should have a podcast too. Let's
Nope.
send the guys out.
No, they're an online magazine that decided to do a paper
Right.
edition of that.
They've only been around about a year, I think. Right?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
You
think
guys
they've
haven't
been
gone to
around
court and fought it out yet.
Nah, Grid City. Everybody can have
Everyone
their
can have Grid City. It's fine.
All right. That,
No, we were the leavings of the Grid City Comedy Club.
Yeah, we actually stole our name. That's where we used to record. It was in the back of Larky's.
nice. We got a nice spot here. This is very nice.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
Larky's
Yeah,
was
we don't
nice,
have bar
too.
service though. Yeah, I miss our bar service.
We got to bring our own beer, and then we don't have any chicken strips.
Right. Or
Well,
hummus.
chicken strips.
There's
Well,
nobody
we're your
outside
bartenders
yelling.
tonight. You got
I know. Big shout out to
Mo Pale Ale
Mo
from
Pale
Morgan
Ale.
Alexander at Tacoma Brewery.
Big ups Tacoma Brewing.
Yeah, these are really
Yeah.
good. Like these are.
This is actually really good.
Yeah.
It wasn't too awful on the IBU scale. You fucking laugh, but I know things about beer.
Okay.
I have a bar, you remember.
Well, you have a bar inside of your game store.
Well, hey, it still counts as a bar. It's a bar license.
This is an actual photo of Morgan, by the way.
It is. That's exactly what he looked
Actually,
like.
photo of him.
I'm burping right on the can.
Yeah.
Mo Pale Ale from the Tacoma Brewery, man.
It's like he
that's very
Simpsonized
solid.
himself. All right, guys, thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having us.
And listeners, thank you. And Scott, I hate you.
You're welcome.
Bam.